Hi there, Gemini. Welcome back. Is it on? Yes, it is. Okay. All right. How are y'all doing? Let's get into this. This is going to be for Gemini. Looks like I'm going to be using these cards. Okay. Guys, I was going to a town that's not very far from me, and I was driving through there around 3 o'clock in the morning. And this is something I've done many times because the hospital's there. And I've done this so many times. I mean, too many times to count. And I have never seen people just sitting on the side of the road, just sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning, just sitting on the side of the road. It was so eerie to see that. It really, it really freaked me out, especially considering that this town that the hospital's at is not a big town. Actually, it's about, if I remember right, I think it's about 50,000 people, something like that. 50, maybe 60 at the most, right? It's a larger sized town. I wouldn't call it a city. I don't know what to call it, but it's not that big. Okay. Anyways, they have a hospital there. So I have been there so many times. Spirit, can we find out what is going on around Gemini's energy? What should Gemini know here? Guys, I have been through there so many times late at night, and I have never seen so many people just sitting, he, just sitting, and it was raining. Well, it wasn't raining, but I mean, it was drizzling, and they were just sitting there in the rain, sitting, like in front of businesses where they have like the entrance ways. People were sitting there. People were sitting in the entrances of like the library, different stores. I saw people, where you could pump your gas. It has that shelter. Some of the gas stations were closed. Like I said, it's a small. I don't know. I don't know if you call it a small city or a big town. I'm not sure. It's like 50,000 people, and a lot of the gas stations over there they close. By 10 o'clock, everything pretty much closes up, right? I have never seen so many people just standing around or sitting there or sleeping on the streets. That was, oh my, it made me want to cry. And so many women. I've seen homeless people, and yes, there have been a couple of homeless people that have been homeless for years. I mean, years. And yes, a couple of them are women, and they have been homeless for years, and I know them. I've given them money, so I know them. But these people that are homeless, these are like, these are not everyday homeless people. I don't know how to explain it. I know I'm saying that wrong. These are not the normal homeless people that have been homeless there before. Let's put it that way. These are new homeless people who don't know what to do. It is, it's getting real, especially a small town. Well, I don't know if you call it a small town, a medium-sized town, but wow, it was alarming to see, especially out here. I mean, I know in my town I'm starting to notice more and more homeless people, but not that many. I mean, you have to remember my town. I live outside of town, but in town, there's only like 2,000 people in the whole town, so five people being homeless is big. But and three of those have been homeless for like at least I would say 8 years that I know of. Okay, and the other two, I think they're newly homeless. But to see that many people, and we're talking about young people. That's young people who don't appear. What is that? Sorry, guys. I mean, these people don't appear to be on any kind of substances or anything like that. They all appear to have their wits about them. So I'm not going to say, it was, they're on narcotics or something like that. Or is narcotics the right word? They're not on drugs. Let's put it that way. I highly doubt these people are on drugs. They look like family people. They look like they had kids in the car. It's sad. Oh, um, I don't know. I'm just wondering if y'all having anything like this around your area, because it really shook me up, and it really, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry again. It made me cry. Oh, it made me cry, and it's gonna make me cry again. Let me get myself together. Okay, Gemini, there's something going on here that you already know. Okay, you know something that's going on. You're aware of something. It seems like there's something that you're holding back on. Yeah, there's like something going on that it's like in the background. It's something that you're aware of, but you're still having this, despite like you knowing something, despite that you're aware of something, you're still having some kind of success. Okay, so you have success coming, and it seems like it's because of you holding back your energy from somebody. Okay, um, I feel like you have somebody that's around you who's been a snake. you know, you have somebody around you who's been a snake. You gotta laugh that kind of energy off of you, because if you don't, these people will drive you crazy. I do feel like, you. Oh, I'm sorry. It seems like you have finally seen the light to something. There's something that's something that you've been suspicious about, but something that you know, like when kind of energy. It's kind of giving me the vibe that maybe you might be psychic, or you have some kind of psychic abilities, okay? But I do feel like you have some kind of something fresh, something new that's about to happen to you. I mean, I'm seeing success like after a long struggle, like you've been going through all this crazy struggle, and you're finally going to get that breakthrough that you've been expecting, or this breakthrough that you've been hoping for, right? That's what I'm seeing here. I feel like you holding back your energy is what's really going to end up helping you out more than anything. I feel like in the past, you might have been a little bit um, impulsive. Okay, maybe in the past you've been like a little bit on the impulsive side. Maybe you've done things that has affected your present time. Okay, so there's like some things that you did in the past that you're like looking back on, and you're like, oh, why did I do that? What was I thinking? Why did I do that kind of energy? I feel like when it comes to your past, it's something that I'm not saying like you did horrible things, don't get me wrong, okay? But I feel like when it comes to your past, you might have had maybe a low level of confidence in yourself, or um maybe you've yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like maybe you've had like a low level of confidence in your abilities. So when you did do something, you were like impulsive. So it was either do it when you were impulsive, or you just weren't going to do it at all kind of energy. That's what I'm getting. Okay. So let's find out where this is going. Spirit, where's this going? I think when it came to your past, there might have been a lot of opportunities that passed you up because you didn't grab them, you know? And now you're like trying to make up for lost time. That's basically the feeling I'm getting from this. Like you probably got sidetracked Oh no, it wasn't just because you were sidetracked. It was because you had people, enemies holding you back. Okay? So you had enemies just throwing their swords at you left and right. No wonder you had low confidence, right? Because you didn't know which way to go. You were like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do now?" Right? You had all these different things going on at one time. That's why you had somebody around you who possibly was a could be a Leo, could be a Sagittarius, or even an Aries. But I would say higher on the Leo energy. Okay, I feel like that's higher on the Leo energy. No, it would be Aries. Okay, so it would be Aries, especially when we have the Ace of Wands coming out. It could be all three, but higher on the Aries, or it could be Sagittarius. Okay, fire sign. You had a fire sign. Let's just put it that way, because it's definitely a fire sign. You had a fire sign who was like really holding you back in the worstest way, stabbing you in the back, making you feel unconfident. For one of you, this could have been like a father figure, could be a mother figure, could be somebody in your family who is doing this to you. It's somebody that you've been trying to end things with, you've been trying to do something with about this person. Um, your intuition has been talking to you, okay? I feel like your intuition has been talking to you, but you have not been wanting to listen to this part of yourself, okay? You might have Scorpio in your chart, but you don't have to, okay? For one of you, you might have Scorpio in your chart, okay? And it seems like, you've been in your past, you've been shaken up so much where it's difficult now for you. And now it's like I said, you're trying to catch up here. I feel like you try to end something with this fire sign, like you try to end that chapter, get away from that person, run away from that person because that person hurt you really bad. Maybe just with their words, but I feel like it was more than that. Okay, I think this person just tried their best to end you, like end anything that you tried to do, like just end everything that you try. It was like such a frustrating energy. This person, they were trying to end anything that you had going on in your life, right? And that's what I'm seeing. I feel like you try to get away from this person because you realize, family or not, this person is your enemy. Okay, whoever, blood sometimes is not always the best people around you. Sometimes you could be blood related to your own enemies, and then have family with people that you don't even share DNA with. You know, you share a spiritual connection with that family, right? And then you're blood related to people who deliberately come out and just try to treat you like a doormat. Okay, and this is for one of you, right? It's like they wanted to treat you like a doormat. They just wanted to break down everything that you had going on in your life, walk all over you, treat you poorly, things like that. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. But I do feel like with the Sun card coming out, you are about to get something good out of this. Okay, because I know it's going really negative, but it's telling me more about your past and all your struggles and the things that you've gone through. And I feel like you've been through a lot. But I feel like after this period, you're going to end up finding yourself bossing up. Okay, I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. You're like, I feel like your intuition is growing and you're going to end up bossing up. And once you do that, once you boss up and you go ahead and learn from these mistakes, which you are, I feel like you are already on this journey. You're already pushing through. You're already, struggling to like make up for lost time that you've lost, right? You're going to have this great happiness come towards you where I feel like you're going to end up exceeding and going even further than what you thought you could. Okay, and that's what I'm getting there. I'm gonna see what's at the bottom of the deck. We have the King of Swords coming out. So I feel like yes, you're gonna end up having some kind of great breakthrough. Okay, this struggle that you're going through, it's really like it's like a muscle, right? You didn't get a chance to use this muscle because you had somebody around you who was so domineering. Okay, somebody who was so busy just breaking you down. And I feel like this might have been somebody that, was like this to you, toward you, for one of you since you were a child. For another one of you since you were a young person, 20 years old. Saying, that's still young, right? Young person. Um, yeah, I think this betrayal is what is going to cause you to break out of this. You might, a part of you still might be going to this, but you've gone through a huge grief because of it, because it was so much at one time. It was so dramatic. It was, you had so much grief that you were carrying on your shoulders because of it. um I do feel like with the 10 of cups coming out, once you boss up, once you get into that energy of taking control of your life and everything, you are going to venture out and you're going to realize the things that you're capable of. And I feel like you're going to be very surprised at what you're capable of. Okay, I think there's it looks like there's a part of you that you haven't even tapped into. Okay, I feel like there's a part of you that you haven't really ventured into to even know what you're capable of. Okay, Spirit, can we get some more information? And one of the things that might, for one of you, you might end up going back to school. For another one of you, you're going to have some kind of career change because of this. Okay, or go back to school, maybe get a degree, something like that. It's going to be something different, something new. Maybe one of you is going to go to school to be a chef. Okay, because I am seeing that. So maybe a chef is coming out, a cook, a chef. Maybe you're gonna open a restaurant, because I do feel like you're gonna open up something new, something different. You're gonna do something that maybe you've never done before, but something that you've always had inside you to do. Okay, something that you've always had inside of you. Maybe you're gonna start business. Maybe so it could be something with the business. That's why I'm saying maybe like open a restaurant. Something financial. It could be something financial, like you're gonna open up something financial. Could be like a loan office. What else could it be financial? You're gonna open a bank. Maybe you're gonna open a bank. I mean, hey, I actually have a friend whose dad opened a bank. He opened his own bank. Yeah. Um. So yeah, why not, right? Maybe a tax office like H&R Block, uh, a tax office, a restaurant. Could be anything like that. Or maybe you're going to go back to school to be a lawyer or a tax advisor, because that's legal as well, right? All right, Spirit, can we get some more information about this? And or maybe this is something that you've thought about doing. 5 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Spirit, can we get some more information about that? So you need to overcome this conflict first. Okay, it seems like it's still going to be a part of you, but you still need to overcome it. So there's still more work that needs to be done. Okay, I feel like that's what I'm looking at here. There's still work that needs to be done. You're going to be doing some recovery. Okay, Spirit is saying to be cautious with um, allowing yourself to get burnt out. Okay, maybe you are going to become very studious. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm the same way. I went to college. When I was in college, I didn't do anything but study. Like seriously, I would clean and then I go back to study. And even when I was cleaning, I was studying. And even when I went to work, I was studying. I didn't do anything else. And yeah, I went through a burnout. And I feel like that's what you're going to, ooh, yes, you are. You're going to go through a burnout. But it's going to be good for you because I see here that you're going to meet connections that you need. Okay? I feel like you're going to meet connections that you need. You need these connections. Okay? I feel like you're going to be influenced by somebody that you work with, possibly. Okay? This is going to be somebody that you, yeah, possibly work with or in some kind of union with. Somebody that you might end up learning something from, or they might be learning something from you. Okay? You're going to be building a new future for yourself. Of course, that's going to take a lot of work, right? It's something like you're going to, and it's telling me again, business. It's something about you negotiating, something about you being stubborn. There's nothing wrong with being stubborn. Sometimes, being stubborn is what you need, right? Sometimes being stubborn is what you need to succeed, right? Yes. It seems like you're going to be moving on from this, okay? Like you're going to see the positive in the negative, okay? Now let me say that again because I'm pretty sure that came out wrong. This negative experience that you've gone through, once you get to this other side, it's like you're having to climb this wall, right? And once you get to the other side, it's like you're going to be seeing the positive in the negative that you went through. So you're going to see some kind of positive outcome from what this horrible experience that you've been through with this person. Okay? So whatever this fire sign has done to you, when you get to over that mountain, right? You get to the other side, you're actually going to look back and you're going to be looking at it, I want to say, with some kind of positive thought. Okay? So basically, which is actually a healthy thing to do. I feel like what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up taking something that was negative and turn it into something positive. You know what it reminds me of? Let me give you an example. I can't remember who. I'm not real big into boxing or wrestling, but there was. I want to say. I think he was a wrestler. To tell you the truth, when I was a kid, I used to watch wrestling a lot, and then I stopped watching it. I don't know why. Oh, it was during the time when who was it? I'm trying to remember their name right now. Okay, well anyways, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I get into the details too much, right? Listen. There was some wrestlers. I believe they were wrestlers or boxers. They could have been boxers, but it was a wrestler. He got into wrestling. He got into that field because he was abused, right? He was abused. So what happened was he went to the gym and he was like, "Teach me how to do this." And I believe he started off boxing and then he ended up going into wrestling or something like that, right? So he wanted the guy that owned the gym to teach him how to do this, right? So that's how he got started because he was getting picked on, and I believe it was a family member that was abusing him. Here he was, 16, 17 years old, and he ended up becoming really big. Yeah, why I can't remember his name. And he started out, I saw a documentary about him, and he started out because of that situation. I want to say like his dad was an alcoholic, or maybe it was his stepdad, and he was abusive toward him, and then he ended up being famous after that. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name. Okay, it'll come to me later. I don't know why I can't remember the name, but you see how he took a negative and turned it into a positive, right? That is what's going to end up happening here. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to look back and you're going to look at it as a positive thing because it's going to be something like that, like his situation. In other words, you wouldn't be put into that position, or you wouldn't have worked this hard if it wasn't for that person doing that to you. I know it sounds horrible, but it's the truth. Okay? Yeah. I feel like what I'm seeing here, it looks like you're gonna feel very overwhelmed. Like when you look back and you see how far you've gone, you're gonna look back and you're gonna feel very overwhelmed because you're gonna realize that God made you go through that terrible situation to get you to where He wanted you to be. Does that make sense? I hope so. But that's what I'm getting. You're going to have a very passionate beginning. Like, this is going to be something that you're going to be very excited about. I feel like you're going to be, like, really, yeah, you're going to be really happy, okay? Really happy, really excited about this new beginning. You're going to become very disciplined. And I want to say, like, you're working out. I don't know. I'm seeing, like, you working out, maybe joining a gym or something like that. I'm not sure. Um, and that's why I'm getting this connection to that wrestler slash boxer, right? That's why that person's popping up in my head. I do feel like you're gonna end up, putting in a lot of structure in your life, and it's like you're going to adapt or adopt this new idea of where your mind, it's going to be like mind over matter type of thing. Okay, that's what I'm feeling, like mind over matter. Like you're going to realize the power of your own mind and how that affects your physical world. Like you're going to take that energy and you're going to implement it to where you're the one that is going to create your own reality. Does that make sense? I hope so. And that is how you're going to end up being very successful here. And that's why you're going to end up in the 10 of cups energy. You're going to be so happy. You're going to have the happy home, the dog, the cat, everything that you've always wanted. You're going to get that. You're going to have that happy ending. It might not be exactly what you wanted, like, maybe you've always wanted, I don't know, exactly like you've always wanted, but it's going to be really close. And what you end up with, you're going to be very happy with. Does that make sense? It's like your dream. You're going to have this dream come true. You know, you're going to have this great success. Who else? There's another person that went through something like this, like you're going through. And they ended up very successful at the end. Can't remember right now. But you're going to have your dream. And that's what's the important part of all this. You're going to have your dream. You're going to be very happy with the outcome. I'm so sorry you're going through this though. It seems like you're struggling. You've gone through such a huge struggle. Some people struggle and then some people struggle more. Does that make sense? And I feel like when it comes to a spectrum, your struggle was, I want to say, extreme. Okay, it was extreme. It's like somebody was causing you a nervous breakdown or trying to push you to a nervous breakdown. You know what I mean? It was very extreme. Narcissistic abuse is no joke. Okay? I think you've had to deal with a lot of chaos because of it. Maybe, your home became very disorderly. You had a hard time functioning because of this. Sorry about that. You had a hard time functioning, things like that. Um, And you know what? I found out that um when you have suffered from narcissistic abuse, I found out that it's actually pretty common, you know. So if you've had a problem with that, then that I want you to know it's pretty normal. But you're going to overcome it. And once you do, you're going to be very disciplined. That means once you get yourself back in order and you put your pieces back together, you're gonna use gorilla glue this time. You know what I mean? You're gonna use gorilla glue. You're not gonna use that cheap glue anymore. I hope I'm making sense, but that's the only way I can explain it, Gemini. You're gonna use gorilla glue this time, and nobody's gonna be able to break you down again. Okay? Because you're gonna be very I keep saying disciplined. I can't think of any other word, but what I saw is you're going to be very disciplined. So that means you are going to be your own, like your own powerhouse, like you're going to be your own powerhouse. You're going to be your own. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And for one of you, you're going to join the military, okay? Because I saw that too in there. So that might be what you're studying for, to join the military, which is really smart. My ex studied too before he went into the army. And as soon as he went in, within like a month or two, he became staff sergeant. And that's what he did. So he actually went, yeah, so it's a long story. But anyways, yeah. So studying before you go into the military is actually a really smart thing to do. Because they will promote you, especially if you throw in maybe a couple of years of college in there. Trust me, it'll pay off. Getting that little bit of education before you sign up would pay off. Um, Even if you just go to community college, it'll help a lot. And that's for one of you. For one of you, you're joining the army. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they were passing out. Just so you know, you might want to check into this if you haven't already. But they were passing out bonuses, and it was a lot of money. I'm not sure if they're still doing it now. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why they wouldn't be. And it was a lot. I want to say like $100,000 sign on bonus. So, or depending on what level you join the army. So it might depend on where level they're gonna throw you in, right? But anyways, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, one of you, I see there that you've been through a big struggle. You want to get away from your family. You're going to join the army. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be very good for you. My dad was in the army. Actually, on my father's side of the family, everybody is military. My grandma said that as far back as she knows of, the men on my father's side of the family have always been military. So my dad was a chief of the Tlingit tribe, and he was military. Um, until he blew. Well, he was military. Get this, guys. I'm gonna just tell you real quick because I'm in a talkative mood. My dad and my uncle actually got kicked out of Germany because they exploded a train. So my dad, they kicked him out of the military for that. My dad was like, I don't know why they kicked me out. All we did was explode a few trains. We're not bad people. But yeah, out of the list, out of people who are not allowed to be in Germany, my uncle was one of them. And I think they said there was like 7 people back then that wasn't allowed to go back into Germany, and 2 of those people were my relatives. So yeah, that's crazy, right? That's how my dad ended up getting out of the military. So, anyways, it happens. But all right, guys, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Catch me in the next one, y'all. Take care. Bye bye.